Hello everybody, Terry back again with another video to talk about today's matches that just ended, the last four matches in the fourth round. And my prediction, I was right in two of them, I believe. Yes, I was right in the Nadal match and in the TM match. I was wrong in the Wawrinka match and in the Zverev match. I was actually not surprised that Zverev defeated Rublev. I was very uncertain about Rublev, even though the Rublev has been really good this year so far, won two tournaments, but that have been two small tournaments. But Zverev has looked superior in Grand Slam, in this year's Grand Slam tournament in Australian Open. I have never seen Zverev this sharp like in this year's Australian Open. He, if I'm not mistaken, he is the only player left in the draw of these 8 players who are left in the quarters who has not dropped one single set yet. Yeah, who could believe that from the beginning of the tournament? Zverev, who has never progressed to the quarterfinals outside French Open. In French Open, we know that he has done it twice, 2018 and 2019, but he has never been in the quarterfinals in the other 3 slams. But now he's doing that. He's playing the quarterfinal in Australian Open for the first time. Zverev looked really good against Rublev, straight sets victory. The head-to-head between them was 3-0 before, and Rublev didn't even take one set before this clash, actually. So I was very uncertain that Rublev would win. I was really uncertain. But I had Rublev to go to the quarters from the beginning of the tournament. I don't like changing my mind. But I'm not surprised at all that Zverev went through. Absolutely not. Zverev was too good, too solid, too clean. Very deserved winner. And now he's the quarterfinals, and he will now face Stan Wawrinka there, who he has a 2-0 head-to-head. Stan Wawrinka, who on the other hand did a little upset. Great from Daniela, who predicted that, because I read all the comments, guys, and Daniela, she predicted that Stan Wawrinka would defeat Daniel Medvedev. And congratulations to her prediction, she was right. Even though the match was 5 sets, Daniel was 2-1 in the lead in the match, but Wawrinka, he just turned that match around. And the 5th set was no question of a doubt who was the better player on the court, and it was Stan Wawrinka, of course. He won the 5th set 6-2. Daniel Medvedev, he is a good, solid tennis player, but he just doesn't do enough winners. He's solid, he doesn't do a lot of mistakes, he's consistent from the baseline. But Zverev, Stan, he has that firepower. His backhand is just out of this world when it works. When he fires that backhand and when he doesn't do mistakes, he can hit through everyone in the world. Just ask Novak Djokovic, who doesn't like facing Stan Wawrinka in the slams. We all know that. And Daniel Medvedev, he didn't have any answers in that 5th set. He really didn't. I think Stan did 71 winners in this match. 71. That is outrageous. He did 64 unforced errors. So that is a lot. But Stan will always do unforced errors. He's a hit or miss player. We all know that. But he, in the 5th set, he just took it to Medvedev. Medvedev is a pretty tall guy, and Stan did some low slices on who didn't bounce high, and Medvedev, he has troubles to grabbing those low slices up, and he hit the net pretty much in that 5th set, or he hit through and made long shots, who was far from the baseline and went long. So no question of a doubt, in the 5th set, Daniel Medvedev didn't have a chance. And you could see that when they did the handshake, he was doing like this, Daniel Medvedev, on his face. He was impressed. He said with himself, and probably said it to Stan on the net, too good. So my dark horse, Stan Wawrinka, beats my favorite, one of the favorites. He's not my number 1 favorite. He beats Daniel Medvedev for the first time in his career, actually, because the head-to-head was before this clash 2-0 to Daniel. But now Stan, he won his first match against Daniel Medvedev in 5 sets. He took revenge from the US Open last year, where Daniel Medvedev won in 4 sets. Now Stan come through in 5 sets. So that was it about that match. Then we had Dominic Thiem against Gael Monfils. pretty expected victory. Dominic Thiem was 5-0 in the head-to-head before this clash. It is pretty obvious that Gael Monfils doesn't like to face Dominic Thiem, because like I said, 5-0 in the head-to-head before this clash. Now 6-0 straight sets victory for Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem did a clinical performance, 31 winners, 99 forced errors. Great performance from Dominic Thiem. He has that firepower, Dominic Thiem. He has that depth. He has that great serve of his, that great kick serve. He's unpredictable, Dominic Thiem. He can sometimes just do bad matches, like he did in that second round when he was taken to 5 set against the world number 40 from Australia, Bolt. But after that second match, he has been good. He has won pretty easy, and now he's playing his first ever quarterfinal in Australian Open, actually. Expected victory from Dominic Thiem, straight sets, good consistent tennis from Dominic Thiem, too powerful for Gael Monfils to handle. Now Dominic Thiem will face Rafael Nadal, the super Spaniard from Mallorca, who defeated Nick Kyrgios in 4 sets. A similar result like the Wimbledon, actually. 4 sets, exactly similar. In Wimbledon, Rafa won the first set, if I'm not mistaken, 6-3, and Nick won the second 6-3, and the third and fourth sets in Wimbledon was 7-6, 7-6 to Rafa, and exactly the same was it the case here in Australia. Good performance from Nick. He did what he could, but good. Look, guys, I was never worried or concerned that Nick would win this match, even when the third set went to a tiebreak, and the tiebreak was 6-all in that third set tiebreak. Look, to beat Rafa, you have to flatten out your shots more. You have to hit flatter, and Nick can hit flatter, but he uses topspin, he uses spin more than what he uses flat shots. And you cannot use too many topspin. You cannot have too many rotation on your racket, on your hands, because what will that do? Yeah, it will give Rafa time. Rafa will have the Nick's balls on his wheelhouse, on his strike zone, and Rafa doesn't have troubles to defend that. To defeat Rafa, you have to have flatter shots, you have to have deeper shots, and Nick doesn't have that all the time. Sometimes he hits flat, sometimes he hits with depth, but many times he hits with topspin and short. If you look at the match, many of Nick balls, they landed on the service line or just 3 meters behind the service line. It is not on the baseline. It has to be on the baseline, a la Roger Federer, a la Novak Djokovic, a la Dominic Thiem, especially Novak. Why does Rafa have so much troubles with Novak? What is Novak's melody? Depth, depth, depth. I could say depth all the day. And Nick doesn't have depth too many times. And that's why he needs to use more depth. He needs to use more depth, Nick Kyrgios, to challenge Rafa Nadal, and he didn't do that. Not enough times, at least. And Rafa went through in 4 sets like expected. And then we have that 4th match of the day. Which match? Yes. Yeah, it was all, I believe. Rafa won, Zverev won, Thiem won, and the 4th match, which I forgot now which match. Look, let me think now. Rafa, Thiem, Zverev. My head is completely still here. My God, what is happening? Stan, I'm sorry, Stan Wawrinka, of course. So these 4 players are through: Rafa, Thiem, Stan, and Zverev. Stan will face Alexander Zverev, and Thiem will face Rafa Nadal. My prediction of those matches will be I think that Dominic Thiem has all the chance to defeat Rafael Nadal. The head-to-head between Dominic Thiem and Rafael Nadal is 9-4 to Rafael Nadal. But and all the matches that Dominic Thiem has won against Rafa are on clay. So Dominic has never defeated Rafael Nadal outside clay. They have faced one time outside clay, only one time, and it was in that epic 2018 quarterfinal, which Rafa won in 5 sets, 7-6 in the 5th. But I feel that Dominic Thiem has everything here to defeat Rafa Nadal. He has that depth, he has that power, he has the length, he has the ground strokes, he has the serve. He can hit flat. He has topspin as well, but he has flat shots as well. And Dominic knows he cannot let Rafa Nadal to dictate like Nick Kyrgios did a lot of times in this match. I will say 60-40 to Rafa Nadal in that quarterfinal. Rafa was supreme against Nick Kyrgios. He did 64 winners, I believe. 64 winners. That is insane. 64 and only 64 or 61. I don't remember exactly now. And only 27 unforced errors. Only 27. To do that kind of winners, my God, he did more winners than Roger Federer did yesterday. Roger Federer yesterday, I believe, did 48 winners, I believe Roger Federer did yesterday. 48 winners, yes. And Rafa did 61 or 64, more than Roger. And Rafa has a total different playing style. So Rafa was clinical against Nick Kyrgios. But Nick Kyrgios also made life easy for Rafa Nadal. Like I said, he didn't have enough depth shots. At least not enough times. Sometimes, but absolutely not enough times what is required. So, but very impressive from Rafa Nadal with that kind of many winners and with that kind of little unforced error, 27 unforced errors in 4 sets. And I believe he served good as well. I believe Rafa did 12 aces, I believe, which is very good stat for Rafa because Rafa is not known to do many aces in his career. But I give the edge to Rafa Nadal in that quarterfinal, 60% to 40%. But I would not be surprised if Dominic causes an upset here. Dominic, he is in the shape of his life. He has looked good in this Australian Open besides that second round, like I said. He has the firepower, he has the ground strokes, he has the depth, he has the length, he has the belief, he has everything. So I say Rafa will win that match 4 or 5 sets. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Dominic causes the upset. Then we have the other match between Stan Wawrinka and Alexander Zverev. The head-to-head is 2-0 to Alexander Zverev. Stan has never defeated Alexander Zverev, but Stan never defeated Daniil Medvedev either but he did that for the first time earlier today. But Alexander Zverev has looked so supreme, so solid. Like I said, I've never seen him this consistent in a major before. And he's the only player left in the draw who has not dropped one single set, if I'm not mistaken. No, the other player also is Milos Raonic. I'm sorry. Milos Raonic has not dropped one single set either so far. And everybody else has dropped sets. But I will go with Zverev, to be quite honest. I just feel that Zverev will be too consistent for Stan. Yes, Stan has that firepower, he has heavy ground strokes, but Stan will do more unforced errors than Alexander Zverev. Zverev is playing clean tennis, consistent tennis, inspired tennis. I'm impressed from Zverev so far. I'm impressed. I will say Zverev will come through here. I think that Zverev will be too consistent. But let's see, maybe I will be wrong. Let's see. And the third clash between Roger Federer and Tennis Sandgren. These two guys has never faced each other. They will face each other for the first time. I just can't go against Roger Federer in this match. I think that Roger will be too consistent for Tennis Sandgren. Tennis Sandgren has already surprised everybody here. Nobody expected that Tennis Sandgren will be in this quarterfinal. Nobody. No, not me at all. He is the lowest ranked player in this quarterfinal section that has come through. He's 100. He is in the 100th world ranking. So will he do the upset and defeat Roger? I don't think so. I just don't think so. Then we have that fourth clash between Novak Djokovic and Milos Raonic. Milos Raonic, who has looked really, really superior in this year's Australian Open. He is the only player together with Zverev who's not dropped one single set yet, but now he will face the greatest serve returner of all time. The head-to-head here is 9-0 to Novak Djokovic. Milos has never defeated Novak Djokovic before. Will he do that for the first time in Australian Open, Novak's best Grand Slam tournament? The defending champion, the player who has won this title 7 times, most times of all the players of the history. And Novak, who has never lost, yes, he has lost the quarterfinal, I'm sorry, Novak has never lost a semi and a final in Australian Open. I will go with Novak here. 60% chances for Novak to win and 40% chances for Milos to win. I wouldn't be surprised if Milos causes an upset here, because Milos has looked so good, so consistent, so solid. His serve is furious. 34 aces he did yesterday against Cilic. Will he do 34 aces against Novak? I don't think so. Novak is a much better returner than Cilic, but it will not be easy for Novak, that's for sure. But I will go with Novak Djokovic. So I will say Federer defeats Sandgren, Rafa defeats Thiem, Djokovic teams Milos Raonic, and Zverev defeats Stan Wawrinka. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and bye bye.